My name is Julie Dahlstrom, and I'm the managing attorney at Lutheran Social Services. And I also direct the Human Trafficking Clinic at BU. What we do is we work with legal cases providing legal representation for victims of trafficking, and that might be victims of labor or sex trafficking. What we try to do is provide both representation and then also really work on issues related to advocacy and law reform.
The clinic allows students, such as myself, to provide direct representation for clients who are potential victims of trafficking. We're working with some of the most vulnerable people, some people who traditionally they distrust the government, they distrust law enforcement, and they may distrust us. So we're trying to build rapport and mutual respect for one another, and in an attempt to get them legal status here.
In the clinic, I have 3 different clients, and the main things that I've been working on them with is getting down their story, their declaration. When you're applying for a T visa, you have to explain what happened. And so, as you might imagine, one of the challenges with this is that people are often doing things that they feel a lot of shame, they feel a lot of fear, so there's a huge emotional component coming with the clients. And so sometimes sitting down with a client in the beginning, you get part of the story. And then you sit down with them a second time and you hear a little bit more.
I make it a point to greet them in a really friendly manner, ask them how they are, ask them open-ended questions, really show and demonstrate that I care for them. Of course, like any relationship, it takes a lot of time.
A long time coming to kind of change the way in which we started to look at these crimes.
We went to speak with the Attorney General, Martha Coakley, who's been a big proponent of getting a trafficking law passed in Massachusetts.
The whole clinic, as well as other students from BU, came to talk and listen to Martha Coakley about this legislation and the purpose behind it and what she envisions her office to do about this legislation and enforcing it.
She's really supportive of what we're doing in the trafficking clinic and works with Julie, our trafficking clinic director. So we had an interesting conversation with her.
I think one of the really important parts of this clinic is that when people hear the word human trafficking, 1, often they don't understand what it means. 2, often they view it as the most egregious forms in terms of people being shackled to a bed, not being able to leave a room. And yes, that is trafficking. But I think in a wide majority of our cases, there are subtle forms of coercion that also are trafficking. And also there's a lot of complexity in terms of how legal definitions are used.
So I think the clinic is really important because it's an issue that that seems kind of black and white at first, right? No one's in favor of human trafficking. No one, at first it seems like, oh, obviously that's bad, so we should make harsh policies and penalties against it. And then once you explore the issues, it becomes much more complex. So much of what we do in law school is read cases and cases and cases, and it's so rare that we are able to interact with actual human beings, and that's really who the law impacts. And so it's so important for clinics in general, but this clinic in particular, that we're able to talk with the real people who our policies are impacting. Because if we don't talk to them, how can we make the policies? How can we be good lawyers?